a situation in Japan that the wind will change and the material will drift over the rest of the whole island, and you can go to Tokyo and get high readings, but the government's saying, "Oh no, everything's fine. Hey, I'm going to eat some of this seafood." Prime Minister Abe's going out and eating seafood. I'll bet he is.
Though for me, Fukushima is a golden opportunity to try to educate myself and others. But it's also an education how governments and corporations, again, are delusional now.
Absolutely. We're looking at a corporation that has no clue about to do anything. As Gunderson said, I think it was on Joyce Riley's show, said something about these people are operators. They're not engineers. They haven't got a clue. They know how to operate a system once it's designed and put in. But beyond that, they're only operators. And now we don't have enough people to operate the facilities. So what do? They go find homeless people on the streets of the major cities, and they're considered disposable people. They give them a nice hot meal, a fancy white suit, and tell them they're going to do something really important for their country. Well, what Japanese person in that society wouldn't be honored to do something for their country? They don't even understand that they're going to die.
So the government that's dishonorable uses the honor of its good people against the people.
Yes, of course they do. That's why nobody, well, I won't say nobody, but there's very few people marching in the streets demanding, why is my little daughter or my son now have some kind of lesions on the thyroid, cancer?
I had the Navy lieutenant on yesterday, and they filed suit, as you know, against TEPCO with his lawyer, who's in a wheelchair and on a catheter now. And they've got a whole bunch of people it's happening to. Well, you heard it good for new listeners. They didn't even give the people, except the pilots that were flying over, or if you were on the deck, they didn't give them iodine, even though they had it on the Ronald Reagan.
That's correct. Absolutely. Again, the attitude of they're disposable people. I believe you made the comment, well, why wouldn't they, somebody said, why don't they use monkeys? People cost less.
Well, you've been studying reactors for decades as an engineer and a licensed radiation safety officer and health officer. What would you do to clean up the nuclear industry? What's your view on nuclear power?
A long time ago, I was like you. I thought it was a good idea. I could see how it could be safely operated. We used to talk about putting the material in the containment in Yucca Flats and burying it. But the Defense Department decided to buy all the old rods and turn them into weapons and to depleted uranium weapons. So now we've dumped 40,000 tons of that material on the Middle East, and that's that. The nuclear power industry is the most dangerous thing we've ever done in the history of the world. We're one Carrington event from mass extinction of every living thing on this planet. And I think Einstein said it well. He said, it's a hell of a way to boil water. And Einstein says, what do you mean by that? And I said, okay, I'm going to boil water in a bucket out in the backyard. In a year, you can find the ashes. In 10 years, you can't. In 100 years, you can't. In 1,000, in 10,000. But if I boil equivalent amount of water with the uranium material that they're using now, 4.5 billion years from now, I can find the waste of when I boiled water for a single day. Now, somebody is nuts.
That's right. The more you study the nuclear power industry, the more you realize they are a menace.
People say they sold their soul. I think we're dealing with leaders who have no soul. We're dealing with people, corporations have no soul. I mean, it's supposed to be under the law. That's a person. Well, that's a soulless person. So if you're working for a corporation like TEPCO, it has no soul, and the people are there to maintain the corporation. So they're working for a soulless entity, and there isn't any conscience in a corporation unless they're good people. Well, we found out there are very few good people there. They're willing to use the poor and the uneducated, and they're willing to sacrifice their own children, the next generation, and possibly a lot more people if they come over there for the Olympics. Now, who are these people? What are What right do they have to do that?
I think it's about the fact that they don't have the right, and they are vandalizing the planet, the species, yes, the genetic genome of the entire biosphere. They come to kill, steal, and destroy. I've only read in history in all cultures about one entity, whether it be fiction or real, who behaves like this, and he has a name. It's Lucifer, Satan, the devil. I mean, that's really what I think it comes down to. Paul in New Jersey, thanks for holding. Go ahead.
Hey, yeah, we've been taken over since the Civil War. We went into martial law, then they passed the Federal Reserve. We under communism since then. And they really locked it in 1933 after the bankruptcy.
That's right, War Powers Act. But now they're really trying to conquer the spirit itself.
Oh, absolutely. Well, hey, it's evil, like you said before. It's Satan, Lucifer, whatever name you want to call it. It's evil, taking over. They want to kill God's creation on this earth.
That's it, brother. Well said. Many anthropologists and archaeologists believe that before man even discovered the power to harness and use fire, we were involved in agrarian activities. That is, taking the seeds of plants and then replanting them to produce more. The very foundation of our modern civilization and human culture is centered around the planting and cultivation of edible plants.
Here are some of the amazing deals at InfoWars Seed Center at InfoWarsShop.com.
The Survival Seed Vault by My Patriot Supply features only the finest survival heirloom seeds for a robust and hardy garden, even in the toughest times. We also have starter varieties of the deluxe seed packages for fruit, salad, salsa, peppers, medical herbs, and more.
Go to the InfoWars Seed Center at InfoWarsShop.com.
And remember, the revolution against tyranny is growing.
See the rest of the Alex Jones Show at our sister channel, The Info Warrior, or become a member of PrisonPlanet.tv and help us take the message of freedom and liberty to the next level. Thanks for watching. Spread this information far and wide, and please subscribe to this channel.